Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk a little bit about storytelling. And everybody tells you about storytelling and how it is the secret to success, how it is the secret to creating campaigns that are more engaging, more compelling, and more success, and probably even win you some clients and make some revenue and all of that. But have you ever wondered where to get started, how to get started? It's not easy, right? And there are different ways storytelling is done, and especially in the B2B tech and SaaS world, storytelling is not easy, right? Storytelling is all about testimonial. But that's not true, right? Storytelling, testimonial is just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more in terms of storytelling and how you can humanize your brand and how you can create a relatable content. And it's not just reserved for Hollywood creators, right? And today I'm going to start with talking a little bit about why conventional storytelling fails and how we're going to take a different route today, right? And conventional storytelling often fails because of the overgeneralization, right? And the messaging is very generic and it's commoditized, and you are not able to stand out from the rest of the crowd. And the second thing is really about the extended purchase decision. In a B2B world, it's not one person who is making a decision. Most of the marketing discussions, when we talk about storytelling, we assume that it is for the consumers. But in a B2B world, it's a little different. It's about different buyer personas. You have CFOs who care about savings and profitability and margins. Then you have IT heads who care about security and integration. And then there are business leaders who care about getting things done and growing the business, right? And then there is a stage of decision making, right? Your sales cycle, right? And how the sales cycle is extended beyond 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and how do you retain your audience beyond that, right? So all of these contribute to why conventional and traditional storytelling fails, right? But is there a way to come out of this rabbit hole, if you will, right? How do you create stories that stand the test of the time, and how do you create stories that are compelling? How do you create stories that hook your audience and take it to the next level? And how do you make your customer the star of the story? How do you make the customer the star of the plot, right, or hero of the story? And we're going to discuss all that and a little more. So let's dive in today into what does it take to create a successful story. How do you go beyond the conventional strategies? And if you look at all the stories in the world, all the successful and all the popular stories in the world, you would see that most of these stories can be categorized into 7 major categories. And I want to start off with the first one, and I will also give you an example of how this can be taken to create into a compelling story, right? The first one is really about a rags to riches story, right? How does somebody create a personal story of success, hard work, and overcome the challenges? And so an example of this could be, how a company that was struggling with sales was able to adopt a new software or a new process or create a new team, and then they went on to create success, right? This is very inspirational, and this really creates success for the team. This really creates success for the audience. And rags to riches is one of the most popular stories, and you should really emphasize the growth and the personal growth, the hard work, and how you overcome the challenges in that. The second one is really about overcoming the monster, right? Now, in this, it's not really about the monster that you read in a children's story book or anything like that, but you're actually showing monster as a security threat or as a loss or something that really hurts your business, right? So how do you overcome that monster? How do you take inspiration from the human instinct to fight adversity, right? So really focus on overcoming the monster. An example of this could be how the company was vulnerable to cyber attacks, and how your software was able to prevent and deny any access to your infrastructure system and all of that. So this is really about how you were able to overcome a big hurdle, overcome a big adversary. So that's really about overcoming the monster. The third one is really about the quest. The quest is about embarking on a journey, right? Now, the example of this is how the industry was filled with a lot of software, a lot of players, and a lot of options, and how you embarked on a journey to do something entirely different, how you created a new niche, how you created a new category, and why the market needed another player. And you here talk about the human desire for purpose, right? How do you create a different experience for everyone involved? That's really about the quest. The fourth one is really about voyage and return. How so here you talk about the personal story of doing something entirely different, how you embarked on a new strategy, how you embarked on a new model, how you came up with a new product, and what were your learnings, the failure, the struggle, and ultimately how you came out with flying colors. So this is the fourth one, and I think this is very inspirational. This talks about your personal experience. It's relatable, and here the customer is really not the hero. The company is the hero, but you can take a different angle, and you can talk about how a customer went on a different model, and how a customer went on a different business purpose, and you were able to create success for them. The fifth one is really about comedy, right? And a lot of companies use it in a very humorous way. And here also the idea is how you don't implement the best software, how you don't implement the best processes, and then what are the failure, and how do you explain the learnings in a very humorous way, right? And the sixth one is really about tragedy. So this really talks about how what happens when you ignore, right? The best practices or processes, or how you are vulnerable. And it really talks about a cautionary tale and tries to inspire others through your tale, right? You did not implement as security software. You did not pay attention to employee onboarding experience. You did not create human talent strategy. It really talks about a cautionary tale, and inspires people to learn from those mistakes and then create a better one. The seventh one is really about rebirth, right? How the company was in the dust, how the company was in failing, and how the company was struggling, and how you created different approaches, models, practices, how you approached different software and tools, or what changed in your strategy, and then you were able to create success. So these are the seven categories, and every story can be connected to this, right? The first one is the rags to riches. The second one is overcoming the monster. The third one is the quest. and the fourth one is voyage and return. The fifth one is really about comedy, and the sixth one is tragedy, and then the seventh one is rebirth. And that's how you create these seven stories. And these stories can play a very important role, not just in testimonial, but why you are launching a product, why the company why the industry needs the product like this. Or it can, and it's not just limited to the purpose, but it can also be different mediums. You can use these storytelling techniques in your case study, in your blog, in your webinar, and everything from infographics. Now this can be really about your idea about using storytelling in your marketing campaigns, using storytelling in your marketing strategy, and create a very relatable and hook your audience, right? And the idea is that it has to be relatable. When you say that we helped an enterprise with 20% cost saving, when you say that you helped an enterprise to improve their profit margin by 20%, or retain their talent by 13%, it's very vague, right? You need story that is relatable, and you need to make sure that your customer or the central character, the hero, is really relatable to the audience and all that. So I'm hopeful that this will get you started. This will get you started, and I'm hopeful that this will change the way you approach your campaigns. And that's all I have for you today. But I definitely want to hear what are the storytelling techniques that you use in your campaigns. What are the storytelling hooks that you use in your marketing campaigns? I look forward to hearing from you, and see you on the other side. Thank you. Bye bye.